Welcome to the Greenway with Mac, a channel dedicated to active transportation. This video will show you a route to get from the end of the Gravois Greenway in Kirkwood to the Deer Creek Greenway at Marshall Avenue in Webster Groves. I did it in order to make a 22-mile loop with the Deer Creek, River des Peres, and Gravois Greenways. I have a playlist called the Kirkwood 3 Greenway Loop that covers the whole route, link above. This 4.2-mile route is slightly downhill and took me about 20 minutes. These tracks had huge gaps that were not kind to my bike, so be extremely careful crossing this one and another one just up ahead. Our journey starts by heading north on South Holmes Avenue, which is a 25-mile-an-hour zone for cars. Most of this video will be on busy streets with fast traffic, so only very advanced riders who are comfortable near vehicle traffic should follow this route. South Holmes Avenue divides two charming Missouri towns. To our right is the small town of Oakland. This little gem of a spot scores high marks in schools, safety, and quality of life. Apparently it's a local secret, so I apologize to the 1,400 residents of Oakland for the influx of people on bikes they will receive once this video goes viral. On the left is the historic town of Kirkwood. Following the St. Louis fire of 1849 and a cholera outbreak that killed 10% of its downtown residents, a suburb was planned. This was the first suburb west of the Mississippi River, and it was named for Chief Engineer of the Pacific Railroad, James P. Kirkwood. One day, Kirkwood will be a great destination from the Gravois Greenway. There are plans to extend the Greenway into downtown, which would safely connect it all the way to the River des Peres. We are turning right onto West Lockwood. However, you can reach downtown Kirkwood by turning left, but you'll be on East Adams Avenue. It looks like you'll have a bike lane, but it disappears quickly. Unfortunately, the trip into downtown is unprotected no matter which route you take. On West Lockwood, we continue to border Oakland on the right. I found this to be the most enjoyable stretch of the ride. There is a bike lane almost all of the way until our next turn. Most vehicles passed with at least 3 feet of space, but we're still moving faster than the posted 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. It says a lot about this route that this was the best stretch. Stay tuned, it gets a little sketchy. This park on the right is called Monaco Park. Here you'll find a playground and a pavilion. The open space on the right is Westboro Country Club. Part of my camera work here as I check for traffic. Our left turn on Berry Road officially brings us into the community of Webster Groves. This town of 24,000 is the home of Webster University and draws visitors for its arts and cuisine. It recently earned the top spot in Missouri for safest cities, but its biking infrastructure earns low marks from me. The Deer Creek Greenway and a few parks are the only areas in town that seem safe enough for all ages to get around. Otherwise, this is a great little town that some well-known folks have called home, such as Phyllis Diller, the author Jonathan MacMillan, Harry Carey, and the creator of the amazing City Museum in downtown St. Louis, Bob Casserly. Unfortunately, I caught some construction on this day, so our route will be a little different. The sidewalk was still open, and I think that's a fine option when entering a construction zone like this one. The lane wasn't wide enough to be passed by cars, so if you're comfortable, then you should take the middle of the lane like I did here. Drivers in Webster Groves were pretty good by St. Louis standards, so I felt fine. This wide area on the right is pretty nice for biking, but there are occasional parked cars. Be sure to get over early when passing them. Since this journey takes us from Kirkwood to Webster Groves, it's important to talk about the long-standing football rivalry between these two towns. Each year, the Kirkwood Pioneers and Webster Groves Statesmen alternate hosting each other in the Turkey Day game. This game is believed to be the oldest Thanksgiving Day rivalry west of the Mississippi, with the 100th anniversary game played in 2007. This area is the downtown of Webster Groves. Here you'll find good restaurants, a pub, and a bike shop called the Hub Bicycle Company. If you continue straight on Lockwood, you'll find a handful of cafes if it's time for a break. We are turning left on North Core Avenue. On Marshall Place, we will make a right. I feel like you can judge quite a bit about a town by their sidewalks. Webster Groves passes my test on this street with nice sidewalks on both sides of the street. It's very welcoming and encourages walks in the neighborhood. Sadly, this is where the low-stress part of the ride ends. Once we turn left on Elm, we will be on a 4-lane strode. This is where I made a mistake. Elm continues straight, but the road naturally pulls you to the right because there are 2 right turn lanes, and I caught a green. Back at Elm, I would suggest safely moving over to the left lane and going straight on Elm. If you do that, then you can sneak to our destination by cutting through the neighborhood and finding Lorraine Davis Park, which is part of the Deer Creek Greenway. Turn right at East Ravine Avenue, and the Greenway entrance is on the left at the intersection of Lorraine Davis Way. Once again, we find some construction at Marshall, but this actually kept cars off the road, so it felt pretty safe. There is a path on the left that leads to our trailhead that also leads to another part of the Greenway at Lorraine Davis Park. Today, I put my life on the line for you. The least you can do is press the like button. And you can keep the fun going by subscribing to the channel. I hope you have enjoyed the trip, and I'll see you on the next Greenway.